Hello, my smelly, beautiful friends. It's Scent Gourmand Trina here. Welcome back. Now, probably when you hear the brand Chanel, when it gets tossed out into the air, you might associate it with descriptors like classy, classic, chic, minimalist, heritage, pearl necklaces, not that kind, tweed, Gabrielle Chanel, the classic flat bags, the boy bag, etc. Am I right? But particularly when it comes to fragrances, I often associate the brand with, sorry to say, words like or phrases like risk-adverse, lackluster performance, boring, conventional, formulaic, too much moolah. These are things in addition to being exceptionally beautiful and classy at the same time, for the most part. I know a lot of love was lost for me when I poo-pooed on number 5 in a previous review, but it is what it is. Wishy-washy, underwhelming, hoity-toity, happy-clappy. Chanel, you smell. Coromandel, a little more swell though. Patchouli, frankincense, benzoin, and a white chocolate creaminess to it. Yeah, this is something a tad more hedonic and delightful, you know? This is my Natasha Lyonne impression, by the way. You likey? Like and subscribe then. Come on, bring forth the love and joy. I need a wig. Coromandel is a fragrance from the Chanel Les Exclusifs collection that I do rather appreciate, even though I would say the performance is a tad overrated. It's moderate. It's definitely above average for Chanel though. My favorite from this pricey line is the vetiver heavy Sycamore, which I have waxed lyrical about previously. Coromandel is an amber, woody, unisex, sensual, and very earthy and gourmandy fragrance. It's masterpiece level for sure. Legendary, very classy, sophisticated, well-rounded, complex, and multifaceted. Coromandel, by the way, is the name for certain lacquered screens from China, and apparently Gabrielle was a big fan. Jacques Polge is unsurprisingly the nose behind this creation. Here are the notes. Coromandel is a slightly aggressive, intense fragrance, so just one spray or two for this one, folks. Let's spray a bit here. And this is to be enjoyed in the air, in the sillage, more on your clothes the next day. It's rich, decadent, opulent, but Mr. Polge has definitely kept the signature of Chanel in the juice itself. Like many from the brand, this is refined, well blended, and classic verging on old-fashioned, I think, depending on your taste. For me, it is old-fashioned, but for Coromandel, no problem. For number 5, different story. But yes, this is a fragrance that I would say demands attention, rather like an insolent and relentless child. Mommy! Which is why I'd probably refrain from spraying too much. It works really well, as I say, on clothes if longevity is important to you. Now for the flip side, if you don't like patchouli, this is not for you. It's a sweet gourmand, yes, but it's indeed very patchouli forward. Some people may even detect a moldy or musty vibration in the patchouli if you smell it directly. And mustiness in the patchouli is a characteristic I find in some of Chanel's other lighter on the patch fragrances too, like those from the Coco line. To me, this is more raw, unfiltered patchouli, like the kind you find in this one, Molinard's patchouli, which is great bang for your buck, by the way. If you're a hardcore patch lover, I definitely recommend picking this up. They have a whole bunch of patchoulis in the line, and this one does remind me of the patch in here, but this one is raw, kind of like being outside in the garden with the raw, you know, fruits, veg, and earth, while this one is, you know, you bring all that stuff into the dining room with the china and the porcelain and the crystals, you know. This is a lot more sparkly, more champagne-y, more uplifted. There's no aldehydes in here, whereas this is more outdoorsy, you know. Hippie shop patchouli. Fine china. But I would say both of these patchoulis are a little bit dirty, a little bit, you know, metaphorically dirty too, if you know what I mean. Not for everyone. And Coromandel, it ain't cheap either. This is the 75 ml and it will cost you over 250 US dollars. Don't know the exact price, but if I find it, I'll put it up here. For the Japanese yen at the moment, and as I've complained so many times, that means it's a fortune. Of course, I got this secondhand, so I didn't pay anywhere near that. I know how to haggle in Japanese, fortunately. This is the EDP version for your reference. The EDT concentration is discontinued and is extremely coveted and strong for an EDT. It was reformulated into this EDP in 2016. The pre-formulation version is probably different and even better. They do tend to be. But this is still Coromandel. I haven't smelled the EDT perfume, so I can't make comparisons from my experience, but I have read that many people find it better, and also that there's more of a white chocolatey undertone, and there is Tahitian vanilla in the other one. There might be in here, but it's not listed. I don't know. Now, I wouldn't call this a modern fragrance. It suffers in the same way that others of the Chanel ilk do. It's perfumey, ever so slightly dated, if you will. You know, modern perfumes tend to smell like things. Like, for example, By the Fireplace smells like, you know, being literally at the fireplace. Things smell like, remind you of things. This one, when you smell it, you smell perfume. That's not a bad thing, but it certainly puts it in a certain time and place, if that makes sense. And usually I don't enjoy those things as much as I do more modern compilations, but this is an exception for sure for me. It is beautiful. What I really enjoy about this fragrance is not in fact the patchouli, which is a note I tend to be very off and on about, to be honest. And it's not the fresh and bright opening either. This one, by the way, is very aldehydic. It's sparkly, very Chanel-esque. For me, it's more about all the ambery resins at the base that mingle with all that comes before it. I love that stuff. And there is a white chocolatey undertone here. It's not sweet. The incense and woodiness really dry it down. It's brought and blended together very well. It's viscerally pungent in a very pleasant and grounding sort of way. It's perfect for a day cool enough for a wool coat and a raspberry beret, the kind you find in a secondhand store. There are lots of contrasts to be had in this wee bottle. I think it's a pretty special and magical fragrance, and it's full bottle worthy, if only for special occasions. Alors, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui, mes amis. If you're not already, do go forth, douse yourself in smelly delights, whatever bottle floats your boat, but be sure, at least once in your lifetime, try Chanel's Coromandel. Holy cockroach. Love you and leave you. Saint Goman signing out. Mwah.